He's so humble, and he's so hot, and he's so hot, and he's so hot. Stop being hot. Stop it. You're making me upset. You're making me mad. Hey there, welcome to the channel of the girl who yaps, amongst other things. But for today's video, I'm yapping, and I am in fact yapping in the bathroom. One of the only places where nobody's here. Nobody's here, nobody's around, and I can just talk and I can just be here. It's the only place that's quiet. Okay, so I'm in the bathroom right now. But anyway, for today's video, I am yapping about ACOTAR. I have been getting into ACOTAR recently, and oh my goodness. But no, literally I'm so freaking hooked. I was honestly I was on the third book. I didn't finish it though because I thought I think the third book like technically the end. Oh, spoiler. Well, actually I can't spoil it because if you're watching this then you don't mind being spoiled. I'm about to spoil the hell out of this book, and I just want to talk about my obsession with Rhysand. Oh my god. I don't know. It's like, well, one, before I really get into anything, I just want to talk about how ACOTAR, I feel like in general, so good. Like the author, I don't know what she was on, but her pen, inflamed, was on fire when she was writing that book, because so much, the world building, the story, it was juicy, it was riveting, there was so much happening. I'm like, literally, why is this not a movie yet? Why is this not a movie? Because I feel like I grew up in the fantasy book era when all of the books and the movies were popping off, you know what I mean? Like Twilight and Hunger Games and Harry Potter, Divergent. But anyway, all of those things were popping off. So maybe that's why in my brain, I'm just if the book is really good and it's fantasy, there should be a movie for it.
Show me to me, please. Send it to me, Rachel.
But I just feel like the world building is so amazing in that book that it's just why would you not? Why would you not want to make it into a film? Because I'm picturing it in my head one way, but I want to see it. I want to see it live. I want to see somebody do it. Matter of fact, I can act. I can be in it. I'm free next every day. Actually, I literally have no life. So if you are casting for the film, I can play whoever dates Rhysand. Oh, the main character. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, no, let me not do that, because then watch conservative Twitter be like, I never pictured a black woman being the main character of the. How dare you guys be woke? Anyway, I'm getting into the book, right? And I was super into Tamlin at first, because that was who they introduced. That was her first love interest was Tamlin. I feel I remember getting the thing is yes, Tamlin was a little controlling, but I feel it wasn't a new thing. He was very much that protective guy, that kind of thing. But I think because of the fact that I'm used to reading a lot of books, and a lot of times in those books, women like that guy that's just super protective, and he's super no, you don't go here, I'm protecting you and whatever, and that's a whole thing, right? So I'm kind of used to that trope, so it doesn't bother me that much. So I didn't really see how Tamlin was acting as a red flag. I wasn't oh, he's being too controlling or whatever. I was just oh, he's just a guy, right? Until the second book happened, and then, well, no, because I'm acting so happy because I'm talking about Rhysand, but we're still on Tamlin right now. And then the second book happened, and I feel the author, I do feel she was pushing really, really hard to make us hate Tamlin, because I was I did not hate that man, but now all of a sudden I detest him. Everything he says, every word he says, I'm
no, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Every time they're hanky-pankying and they're getting down, I'm this feels wrong. It feels icky. I feel gross. And I love me some smut. I do. I love me some smut. But I'm this smut isn't hitting the way the smut of last book was hitting, because this attitude you got going on, I don't like it, you know what I mean? And I think my thing is that, I said, I'm used to the male characters being this super protective, no, you don't go here, I'm protecting you, because that's something that I'm used to seeing, but that doesn't mean that's something that I find to be ideal. Because also, I grew up in a super strict household, right? My parents were super religious Haitian immigrants, strict people, yeah? Basically, there's this Haitian term called l'école, la caille, l'église, which means school, home, church. And if you have strict parents and you're Haitian, you get it. You literally, those are the only three places you're going to be. It's going to be school, home, and church. There is nothing else, right? And I also wasn't a sneaky kid. I was scared of getting in trouble and scared of consequences. So I followed my parents' rules. I would literally listen to them and obey them. So I was literally just my life was just oh, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening in my life, and I feel so bored, and I feel so trapped, and I feel I can't do anything, right? And then I'm it's fine, because I'm gonna go to college, and when I go to college, I'm gonna be free to do whatever I want. No, because I go to college, and what do? I joined a freaking cult. I joined a cult. Not on purpose, obviously. I wasn't oh yeah, I wanna join a cult. I just joined a cult, and I still was wow, so the things that I really want to do, I shouldn't do because I don't want to get judged and I don't want to get called out. I don't want to get, brought over and like have people tell me like, you're not supposed to do this. Like we have eyes on you. You're not supposed to do, like, I didn't want that. Right. And so I was like, I'm just gonna stay in line and I'm gonna obey and I'm gonna do this. Right. And then when I left that place and I was like, oh my God, I was being stifled there. I hate it. You know what I mean? And then also with like the upbringing, like the strict upbringing, I was like, no, like, I don't know. I feel like genuinely, like, I know this is like a very corny thing to say, but I genuinely feel like I'm a free spirit. Like, I'm like a bird, I wanna fly away. Like, I genuinely don't like being in a confined space. She says when she's in a confined bathroom filming a video. Anyway, but seriously, I don't like being in like a confined space, and I don't like not being able to move and just go about and just like live life, you know what I mean? And so like the thing that bothers me the most, especially after having controlling parents and other controlling authority figures from like the cult that I was at, like, I just hate it when people tell me what to do. I hate it so much when people are just kind of like forceful and they're just like, you have to do this, whatever. Like, so I don't like being controlled. Now that kind of makes it a little hard when we're living in a patriarchal society. And I know we're going off the rails, but stick with me. It's gonna make sense eventually. Okay, I know that makes it hard when living in a patriarchal society that like literally tells men they're supposed to be in charge of everything, especially women, and you're supposed to just kind of like sit down and like let them like guide you and lead you. And especially if you grew up religious, like I was taught like the man is supposed to lead you, he's supposed to lead you, and whatever. And I literally remember at the cult place that I was at, like they would literally say like, oh, if your husband is making bad decisions, like you're not supposed to correct him. You're supposed to let him make the bad decisions and figure it out on his own. And I remember someone was like, okay, but like what if he's like making bad decisions with our money? Like we're losing money, like he's gambling or whatever. And then they were like, as his wife, you have to know your place and you have to like let him figure it out on his own. You know what I mean? So they're very like, you just kind of like let the man walk all over you type shiz. This is YouTube. I can't curse like I do on TikTok. But anyway, so basically like seeing that at that church, I was like, that is my worst nightmare. I do not like that. Like that's no control over my life whatsoever. And then just like, yeah. And then seeing like alpha males and and you dress like this, you wear this, you do what I want you to, Andrew Tate and the other bald guy. And then what's the one that died? I don't know. But like all of them were just like, oh yeah, like you're my woman. Like you gotta listen to me. Yeah, like you're not your own person. You're my object. I will tell you what to do. When you go out, you represent me. And it's so like that whole like vibe or whatever, like it's just like, I would rather chew on toenails. I would rather mop the ocean. I would rather jump off of a 120-foot building than ever be with someone like that. So when Tamlin was giving those very like super like, oh, I'm controlling, I'm telling you what to do, like you don't have the there's no such thing as high lady, whatever. I was like, Tamlin, yo, I'm being so for real. I know you're just a character in a book, but we could go. But like, I feel like a part of me was genuinely just like, but I don't get it. Because I'm like, because okay, like if you're raised in like the culture that I was raised in with the Twilight, and a lot of them would have like, like the male protagonist, like who's like, oh, like I'm with you, or like I like you, and then they would have like the second guy who's like more tempting, and he's like, oh my god, like come here, whatever. But you're like, no, I'm gonna focus on this guy. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're gonna tough out whatever issues we're going through, and we're gonna make it through, and we're gonna be together forever, right? Like that's the era I was raised in. A lot of the books that I read were very much like that. Like love triangles were just for show. It was like, this guy's just gonna be here for 2 minutes and he's probably gonna be gone, right? So when she started talking to Rhysand, I was like, okay, but you can't like cheat on Tamlin, like you can't, and I'm like I'm very anti-cheat. So I was like, no, like you can't do that, like you can't cheat on Tamlin or whatever. But then like Rhysand did the one thing. He did the one thing that I find so hot in any man, and it was like constantly giving her choices. Like he was constantly just like, what do you want? Like I don't care. Like this is like, I don't care if this makes me uncomfortable. Like what? Shush you, I'm making the video. Yeah, he's like, I don't care what I want. Like literally, like he was literally like the way that he had like mated with her, like matched her, whatever the heck, like he connected with her, and he already knew that was his mate, and he was going to let her marry Rhysand. Like he was like, you know what, since she's happy, since she's okay, she's comfortable with him, even though it's gonna crush me, I'm gonna let it happen. I'm like, that is a man. Ow, I slapped myself too hard. But like, I'm like, that is a man. That is hot. That is so Oh my god, like with every page turn, he was giving her more and more options. Because Tamlin was like, oh, like, you have to obey this, and I'm the king, yeah, toxic masculinity, bow, bow. And Rhys was like, baby, I'm gonna give you options. Like Tamlin was like, you're eating vanilla ice cream and you have no choice, vanilla ice cream, because it's good for you. And Rhysand was just like, oh, I mean, you could eat vanilla. Is that your, oh, you don't, I can tell you don't like vanilla. Okay, well, look, there's chocolate. There's also, we also have pistachio. We have like this birthday cake flavor, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God, this makes me so
my ovaries. I was just, girl, I'm not even kidding you. It just made me realize, I'm like, wow, I really do find men who like give, which is such a silly thing to say, but like men who give women a lot of like choices or make it very obvious that it's like, I am not trying to control you. I am not trying to tell you what to do. I'm very, I want you to know that you're your own person. I want you to know that you're not my object, that you're not just this thing that I'm going to control. Like, you are your own person, and I fully respect that. Like, whenever a guy like goes above and beyond to constantly tell you like, no, you don't have to do this, you have choices, I'm like, that is so attractive. Like, I think I remember, like, I think I had like a situation like a little while ago where I was with someone, and he very much did that. He was just very much like, okay, like, do you, like, what do you want to do? And then I was kind of like no, he was like, do you want to do this thing? And I did not really want to do the thing, but you know what, I feel like, especially as girls, like, we have a little bit of people pleaser in us. Like, all of us, like, we have a little bit of people pleaser in us. And I feel like he could sense that I didn't want it, and he was just like, you don't want to do it. And I was like, okay, but like, maybe. And he was like, you don't, it's fine, it's okay, whatever, cool. And then later on, I was like, you know what, yeah, I want to do it. And he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, I was like, just, God, stop being hot. Stop it. You're making me upset. You're making me mad. But like, yeah, genuinely, I feel like the one thing that makes me so obsessed with Rhysand is just like this, like, so like, I'm not a man because I'm in control of you. I'm not a man because I'm telling you what to do, because I'm making you do this thing or making you do that, and you're listening to me, you're obeying me. Like, no, he's like, you are your own person. Like, constantly, like, I want you to remember that you are your own person and you have your choice.
Sorry, I'm editing right now, but I just realized that I forgot to mention how much I loved how he just like kept reminding her of how capable she was, you know? He would always be like, no, like, you're so strong. Like, I know you're so strong and you can handle so much. And whenever they would go somewhere and someone would like undermine her, or like they would like, you know, be a little misogynistic, or you just like be like, oh, you know, like, you know that she's not like that. Like, she's not like the king. She's not like the queen or whatever. And they would just like disrespect her even slightly. Rhysand was always so quick to be like, who the F are you talking to? She is so capable of so much. She is so powerful. Like, do not try her. She is a queen. Respect her. I'm sorry. Oh, God, I love that man. I'm sorry.
To do this and do that. And I feel like, especially as a girl living in a world like that, is like the most refreshing character in a book ever. I'm like, genuinely, if I could like you know when like people say things like, oh my God, like, he's a guy, and he like they meet like a guy. Like, remember when that was like a whole thing online where people were like, oh my God, like, that guy was like written by a woman or whatever. Like, that's very much like, he's so obviously written by a woman, like, actually literally, because it's a book and he's not a real person. But no, genuinely, like, I was giggling and kicking my feet every time he was just like, whatever you want to do, like, baby, like, whatever you want to do. I'd like, oh my God, I'm so, Jesus. And it's not even in like a oh, I'm trying to pretend I'm feminine, I'm gonna pretend I'm feminist so I can get her type of way. Like, it was on some like, I genuinely respect you. And you know what it also makes me think of? It makes me think of, like, you know, like, when anybody who has privilege, whether that's privilege because of race, whether that's privilege because of gender, whether that's privilege because of social status, it is so attractive and so beautiful when you find someone who has privilege, recognizes that they have that privilege, and sees the people who are like seen as beneath them, and they make sure that person knows that in their eyes, you're not beneath me. You are just like me, and I respect you all the same, and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, so that, I mean that, I don't know if that sounds confusing, but it's like, you know, it's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, when it comes to Rhysand, he's not like other guys. I don't know, like, he's just not, like, he's genuinely, like, the way he is very much like, no, like, he knows he knows that he's High Lord. He knows that he's a guy. He knows that people will tend to like look to him as like this and this amazing thing. But he's just like, I'm not gonna expect you to bow down to me because of this. I'm not gonna make you do that. I want you to be as comfortable as possible. And he's dedicated to making you, like anybody who would be seen as beneath him, as comfortable as possible. Like he's so humble and he's so hot and he's so hot and he's so hot. And I like, oh my god. And I always see people talking about it. Like they'll be like, oh, like when you read a book and you fall in love with the character and you're like, dang, like I wish this character was real, and they're not. And I feel like I don't have that many cases where I feel that way about a character. But for Rhysand, I'm like, no, seriously, if he was a real man and my man, I would not play about him. Like I will say over and over and over again, I have said this a million times, you will never catch me fighting another woman over a man. You will never catch me doing that, because that is crazy, and I stand by that.
But if that man was Rhysand, if that man was Rhys, I don't know, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have to go crazy because he's like perfect. I'm sorry. Like, I genuinely feel like he's everything. Like, he's everything. And he's not real. Man, like, he's not real and I love him. It sucks. You see, this is why, like, book girls, like, can book girls find romance? Because I feel like you see the guys in these books, and then you have to go out into the real world and then see what was going on out there. What do we do with that? Like, what do we do with that? I don't know. But listen, if you're trying to get into ACOTAR, why did you watch this? Because, like, I literally just gave you a bunch of spoilers, but whatever. But if you have read it, is it worth it reading the third and fourth book? Because like I did buy the third book, but I didn't read it. And also like the fourth one, like I heard it's like all about Nesta, and I don't even really know if I really want to hear about Nesta the entire time. Like, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I forgot. Yeah, this is a YouTube video. Duh. Anyway, but yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and stuff, so you like keep seeing my yapping videos. Like, I don't know if you want me to read more books. I'm genuinely right now, I'm just like posting out. I'm just posting. I have no idea like what the direction of this channel is supposed to be. And it's mostly yapping and doing other things in life. But yeah, if there are any other books that you want me to check out, maybe I can like make it a series on here. Make it like a playlist where I just like constantly like read books and then I talk about those books, because I could talk very passionately about any and everything, honestly. So yeah, if you would like me to do that, leave a comment down below. Be like, oh my gosh, you should totally check out this book too. And I might check it out. I might just do that. I don't know. Oh, and also don't forget to follow me on like my other socials and stuff like that. Like Instagram especially, but on TikTok as well. And I genuinely feel like if you're watching this video, you're probably here from TikTok anyway. So, hey TikTok fam, now you're YouTube fam. Oh my god. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Have a great day. I forgot what my outro was, what I did for the last video and the video before that, but I will watch these videos and we gonna get concise. I'm gonna get concise. Anyway, love you. Bye.